Hey, Karen Julia here, and in this wee tutorial we're going to talk about what you should do before you change your domain name. So the few really important steps, and one of those is going to be checking the history, checking the backstory of the domain. If there's none, that's great, but if there is, you want to be aware of what that is, and is it something that's maybe going to cause a problem for you in future. So before you undertake the task of transferring all your content to a new home, or even purchasing the domain in the first place, this is a free tool that you can use to check what the history is. To get to this tool, you just want to head to web.archive.org. There's a link below. And you'll see there's a box right up at the top here. And we're going to use my wedding photography website as an example. So you just want to paste that in there, hit enter. And it's going to show you any snapshots that have been taken in the past that are linked to that domain. Now, one of the things I love about this is if the domain has not had a website installed on it, but it's been used to maybe point to or kind of redirect to another website, it would still potentially have a snapshot. So for example, if we go all the way back to 2010, I did not have a website installed on this domain. But we have a snapshot from May 12th that shows us, oh my goodness, it shows us a fairly heavily processed portrait from my original first website. And that's just like a snapshot of that website. But at the time, my website address was just karenjulia.com, but karenjuliaphotography.com redirected to it. So I love the fact that this will show links to maybe anything that it's pointed to, as well as what has been kind of potentially installed on the domain. And you can see this small graph along the top here. Any little bit of information there is just shown along the graph, and you can just kind of flip through the various entries and see the various stages. You know, it might have been owned by more than one person. And I guess what you want to check for is, what has the domain been used for before? Has it been anything that's been maybe like spammy activity? Has it been anything that's related to another industry that might mean that it has backlinks that could be harmful or not relevant? Oh my goodness. This is just a reminder of my poor choice of colour scheme. I'm kind of wishing I'd made this video with someone else's website now. I don't know. Clearly, I thought it was a good idea at the time. So yeah, you can kind of have a look through and see, you know, is this anything that's going to cause a problem for your brand, or anything that's not in alignment with your ethics, or anything that could be kind of breaching Google's guidelines. Which brings us on to the next point of, are there any backlinks that are going to cause a problem? Now, what I would say is, if you put the domain into the Wayback Machine and there's nothing there, you're fine. Don't worry about it. It could just be brand new and it's never been used before, and that's okay. If it has been used before, then definitely check the backlinks, because those backlinks may be helpful to your new site. They might actually help lift things up, especially if maybe you had the .co.uk and you find that the .com has become available. It could be that a photographer in another country has been using that and they've already got some backlinks there. If they happen to be the same industry as you, then that could actually be quite beneficial to you. So that's something that could be helpful. Or it could be someone that has engaged in a load of spammy kind of backlink practices, and they've had to get rid of that domain because it's got like a manual action or a penalty, and you definitely don't want to waste any money on something that you're not going to be able to use, or maybe spend time migrating things and then realize you have a problem. So this is a bunch of free tools from Ahrefs, one of which is the backlink checker here, and I'd highly recommend running the domain through that and just checking what links are there. Is there anything spammy? Does anything maybe not look right, or are there some industry links that could be beneficial? These are the sort of things to check before you spend money on the domain, and definitely before you move all your content, because it is quite a time-consuming process and you don't want to make a mistake that you then have to redo things again. So I did want to just share those couple of little tools with you. They're really kind of quite simple and easy to use, but they are a really important part of that process, and they will help ensure that you can minimize any disruption to your SEO rankings in future. I'll see you in the next video.